afternoon, everyone, and thank you for joining this EBSCO Back to School with New Jersey State Library session. My name is Shayna, and I am a Senior Customer Training Specialist with EBSCO. I'm very happy to be presenting today's session. We do have an agenda. In the next hour, we'll highlight features of your EBSCO databases. We'll talk briefly about the key features of Primary Search, Middle Search Plus, MasterFILE Elite, Academic Search Premier, Newspaper Source, and ERIC. You subscribe to more. We'll also demonstrate the key tools and features when searching. We'll conduct some basic and advanced searches, use the limiters and expanders, Lexile limiters, topic overviews, your full text viewing options. We'll also take a look at some tools like saving, citing, integrations with Google and OneDrive, and we'll demonstrate the new EBSCOhost interface. And I do see that Michael has joined us. Thank you, Michael. He has placed in the meeting chat to everyone to say thank you for joining. And there is information on future webinars at the New Jersey State Library, jerseyclicks.org. So please feel free to visit. We will have some additional sessions coming up after today's overview. So thanks, Michael. So just getting back to our agenda, we are going to demonstrate the new EBSCOhost interface that was made available last month, and you'll be transitioning soon to that. So we'll demonstrate that, as well as the interface for elementary education, which is Explora. So we'll take a look at those things. The objectives for you are that hopefully by the end of today's session, you will know how to access and navigate your EBSCO interfaces and databases to conduct quality research. You'll know how to utilize key features like basic and advanced search, limiters and filters to refine your search results, and all of those fun tools. And you'll also know where to access tutorials, training, and promotional resources, as well as get help at our support site, which is EBSCO Connect. So let me start out by talking about some user research findings that we want to share with you. We conducted some research a few years ago to figure out what the average researcher was looking for in terms of utilizing interfaces and databases. And of course, no surprise, it's all about Google for most. It's their everything. And we know that these are not valid sources, although very popular. We also found that students struggle with starting their research. They are definitely more visual. They like to see fewer words on a page. And when it comes to conducting research, some of the feelings that we found students expressed were feeling frustrated and overwhelmed when conducting research. So we wanted to create an interface or interfaces, especially with our new EBSCOhost UI, that helps your student feel productive and confident and motivated when conducting research. So with that, we launched Explora. It is a simple interface that quickly delivers relevant, age-appropriate results, including articles and essays and videos and primary source documents. It gives the students the jumpstart they need to conduct quality research. It has easy-to-browse categories that guide their research, to some topic overviews that provide summary information, and it is equipped with all of those tools that we are accustomed to with our EBSCO resources, including Lexile reading level indicators. And it gives your students, if they choose, the ability to create personal folders that are COPPA-compliant, that allows them to store their research and organize their research into project folders. We'll be sampling Explora today, as well as EBSCOhost. So EBSCOhost is our flagship interface by which all of those databases can be searched. And we have just gone through a transition with EBSCOhost last month. We launched it. And I want to answer the question why users would use EBSCOhost or Explora. In the case of EBSCOhost, it's going to be better than the Googles of the world because it has content that's procured for academic institutions as well as public libraries. It has authoritative vetted content from reputable publishers, and it gives your users the ability to filter their search results, utilize those advanced search options for the experienced researcher. It has tools like saving and citation and sharing options. And of course, you will never be bombarded with advertising or requests for personal information. So as we move into the new EBSCOhost, which launched just last month, you will see some great changes. We have redesigned our user interface with accessibility in mind. It's an accessibility forward design. You're going to see the new EBSCOhost shortly, hopefully before the fall. In enhancements, we are continuing to enhance the platform. So those additional enhancements will be revealed over the next few months and beyond. We are ensuring that there is no work required on your end or your end user's end. These changes will happen seamlessly. And we do have a publicly facing roadmap for librarians and administrators. If you're interested in following our timeline for all of these improvements, I'll show you where you can access all of that information in a little bit. So, question, are you prepared? Yes, you are prepared. You're taking the first best step today in attending today's session. We are going to demonstrate the new EBSCOhost. There are no changes on your end required, so all existing URLs will redirect to the new UI. Reports and statistics remain unchanged, and you can review all of the information, all of the support documentation, as well as access tutorials and promotional materials at EBSCO Connect. So let's talk about the new user interface that I'm about to demonstrate. All of our user interfaces are going through a transformation. We started with Explorer. So if you're accustomed to Explorer, the new EBSCOhost is going to look somewhat similar in terms of the clean, modern web design. All of our interfaces, including EBSCOhost, are responsive and accessible. And we're moving towards the internationalization of our products, so we needed to modernize according to new web standards. You will find a simplified design to reduce cognitive load, and accessibility was our charge. So we are working towards WCAG 2.1 AA compliance, which is Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. Some of the new features you will see regarding accessibility include responsive interfaces, the simplified design to reduce cognitive load, quick filters, accessible formats, screen reader navigation, descriptive text for images and non-text elements, transcripts for videos, text to speech, not only for HTML, but PDF. Great features have come with this new UI. You will find consistency across all of our viewers, whether you're viewing full text in HTML or PDF, or even in our EPUB format for ebooks. And if we're ready for the demonstration, I'm going to jump out of this presentation. For anyone who has just joined us, we do have a healthy group. I am recording today's session. If you would like to ask a question, feel free to unmute yourself or enter your questions in the chat, and I will be monitoring the chat occasionally. All right, so let's exit out of this demonstration, and we will dive into Explora first. Okay, since we are talking about back to school, this is the preferred interface for student research. Because it is a more inviting interface, it doesn't overwhelm students and novice researchers. It kind of guides their research and makes them feel confident. So you may be familiar with Explora. If you're not, you're in for a treat, and you'll see that the Explora logo is in the upper left corner. If you go on to a subpage and you want to get back to this landing page, you can just click that Explora logo in the upper left. At the top is your basic search box. It invites the user with a question or a prompt, what are you looking for? And that's where you can enter your keywords. It does support advanced search, like field codes and Boolean operators if you needed to, or you can just enter a keyword search and click the magnifying glass to conduct your search. Another defining feature for Explora is the featured content image here. We call this the hero image sometimes. which keeps the interface fresh. It will rotate through current events, timely topics. The actual images that it will rotate through are in these pill items right below the Discover Popular Topics subcategory here. So it's going to rotate through these topics upon page refresh. You can also quickly jump into any one of them by clicking the topics here in the Discover Popular Topics section. Okay. Notice when you are looking at one of the hero images, there is a link to find more about the topic. So in the case of baseball, clicking the baseball hyperlink will automatically conduct a search on that topic. Before I dive into that, I'll just scroll down a little bit more. You can also explore popular topics. We're currently reviewing the primary version of Explora. On the back end, it's loaded with databases that are selected specifically for primary research. You can control which databases your students can conduct research on these popular topics in the back end in EBSCO admin for all library administrators. So we can browse through these popular topics. Selecting any one of these, I'll choose geography, will take you to a subpage with an A to Z listing for all geography topics. We can explore even further as we scroll down for some other popular topics within geography, like US states and territories, for instance. And then that will bring you to another sub listing. Okay, so it guides your students, the novice researcher, in an organic way. So we're now looking at all of the topics for US and state territories. If we wanted to conduct a search, we can go ahead and then execute a search. I'll just go ahead and click New Jersey. And we can explore results for New Jersey. Okay, so I'll go ahead and click back to the Explora landing page. And as we can see, this is automatically rotating through those popular topics here. Now we're taking a look at fireflies. They're even prettier up front, closer. We also have a featured content carousel, which will feature some ebooks. This is a relatively new feature that we've added to Explora. So if you have an ebook subscription, which New Jersey State Library does, it will show you some of the latest content available in ebook format through our featured content carousel. All right, so that's pretty much for the main section for Explora in terms of the navigational features on this landing page. Notice that you have a little My EBSCO avatar here. This is where your students can create a personal account to store their research long-term. It is completely optional, but in order to create an account, they would just click that avatar and follow the prompts to create that COPPA-compliant personal account. And once you log in, if you choose to do so, then everything that you do within your session will be stored here long-term. So a student can come back and review any project folders they've created to organize their research. They can review any saved resources, any viewed resources, and you'll see how this populates as we start conducting some research. But I'll go to the overview of My Dashboard, and you'll see that the dashboard is your organizational section for everything you've conducted for your session. As you can see, we did that one search on New Jersey, and so it's now listed in my searches. Okay. I haven't viewed anything, so there's nothing in the viewed section. But let's go back to the Explora landing page. All right, so let's conduct a search. I'm going to start by entering something in the search box under what are you looking for? And we'll go ahead and just type maybe climate change. It's usually the one that we choose for demonstration purposes. So notice here we have some popular searches that are being suggested. Didn't want that on all clap. app. So I'll just go ahead and select climate change from the suggestions. It helps students, if they struggle with spelling, to select something from that suggested drop-down menu. And it's going to automatically bring me to search results for climate change. We can see there are over 1,100. Sorted by relevance, that's the default. Sort for the articles. Excuse me, I had a little cough there. I didn't want to cough in the in your ears. So it's default relevant sort. But if you wanted to sort all of your search results by the date newest, the most recently published resource, you can change your sort to date newest or date oldest. At the top of search results, you can see the titles for the articles, the source type. This is an article, too hot to play. Additional resources. If your search terms show up in the title, it'll be highlighted here. You also have your access options. Let's take a look at this article for Gabby Snyder. We can see access options, online full text, and PDF options. If you wanted to get to the detailed record for this article, we can click the View Details link. You can see the subject terms covered for this article and the summary article. The summary of it. You can click the flag here to save this resource temporarily. If you wanted to save it long-term, notice the little pop-up shows you that you'll need to be signed in to access this information at a later date or a later time. You also have the 3 dots with tools to your citation tool, the ability to add or create a project folder to organize your research, your sharing tools, and the ability to download the article. Let's go into the View Details link here for this article. It gives you more bibliographic information about this article. And the access options are also provided here for full text in the online format, as well as the PDF, and then the full download. All right. In the upper right corner, since we are on the detailed record, you'll see those tools once again. Since I have already saved this to my temporary session file, the flag icon is shaded in. I can also access the citation tool, the project folder, the sharing options, and the download. But let's go back to our access options. We do have 2 for this article, HTML, which is online full text, and PDF. I'll start with the HTML. And now we're going to view the contents of this article. As we're scrolling down, actually, let me choose another one. I think I chose one without enough content here. Let me go back to my search results. All right, maybe not the Gabby article. Here we go. What climate change means for wildlife. I think this might be a better one. Yes, we're looking at primary search. Kind News will access the full text HTML. And this is a better representation for something with more content. So now we're reviewing the article right within our viewer. In the upper right corner, you see the full download. If you'd like to download this article for offline access, you have the ability to translate this article by clicking the world icon. That gives you access to all of the different languages depicted here in the Choose Language dropdown. And it will automatically translate that article in any of the languages that you select. In the upper right corner, right next to that translate article, we can access the table of contents. We also have the text to speech option with the microphone, or I'm sorry, headphone icon. Notice here you have your play option, fast forward, rewind, the ability to control the volume, the playback speed, the scrolling speed. You can download the audio file into an MP3, and you can also play around with the text and word highlighting options. Let me make sure that I've shared this sound. And I'll go ahead and play this article.
What climate change means for wildlife around the world. Climates are warming faster than ever before. At Yellowstone National Park in the western United States, the warmer air has meant fewer days.
Okay, so that's your text-to-speech. As I'd mentioned, available in HTML as well as PDF. But we'll go ahead and exit out of this text-to-speech. We also have the ability to save this article. Once again, we get a message if we want to save it long-term, i.e. past this session, we'll need to sign in. Let's take a look at the citation tool. That's going to bring you access to 9 different citation formats. If you need to cite your resource, you can choose one of the formats, and it will display that citation with the ability to copy that citation to your clipboard and paste it into your research. We also have the ability to create project folders to organize our research in subfolders. Let's say a student is conducting research for their history class. They may move articles into a history project folder. They can create another folder for maybe their language arts class and so forth. So that's the project option in the upper right corner. The sharing icon, which is that little swooshy arrow, gives you access to the integrations with Google Drive, Classroom, and OneDrive. You can also access the persistent link, the permalink, by clicking this paperclip icon, and that gives you access to the persistent link. Now, one thing that we will note here, as well as in EBSCOhost, the persistent link is now available in the browser URL. So you actually don't need to access the persistent link here. You can still access it here and copy it to your clipboard, or you can just copy and paste the URL in the browser, I should say. All right, and then you have your options to share, to print in the far right corner. So those are your tools. Let me go back. And that was the online full text. So let's take a look at the PDF option. Okay, so we're now going to view the PDF of this article. And this is presenting the article in the way in which it was originally published, complete with formatting and imagery. So it's like a PDF, a picture of the article. You still have all of your tools in the upper right corner, but we're now looking at the way in which the article was published. Okay. And as I've mentioned, text-to-speech is available for PDFs now as well. Okay. Let me pause here and see if we have any questions as we move through our demonstration here. I'll also pause for a second to give anyone an opportunity to unmute and ask a question live. Okay, so let me exit out of this article and click back to the Explora landing page. And we just conducted a basic search using that search bar at the top, but we can actually dive into any of the content from the hero image. This one is talking about Anansi, which is from West African folklore. If I wanted to learn more about this, I can just go ahead and click the title, and that's going to load an article or search results for Anansi. We can see 16 search results. We also have the ability to, in addition to scrolling through those 16 search results, use our filters to refine our search results. So we have some quick filters available. Online full text is automatically selected here. We can see that it's shaded, which means that on the back end in EBSCO admin, I have chosen to automatically limit my search results to full text. I also have access to some quick time filters if I'd like to limit my search results for these 16 to articles published within the last 12 months, 5 years, or 10 years. I can do so with these quick filters. I can also limit by source type. As we can see here, there are 11 magazine articles, 2 encyclopedia entries, and 2 reviews. I can choose any of those source types by clicking the tick box to automatically update. If I wanted to see all of my filter options, I can click the All Filters, the first option on the left, and that will open up a panel with my full complement of filters. I can see the active filters at the top, so online full text was selected by default. It's also clicked here, so we can see that it's in use. If I wanted to select a custom range, not just those quick date ranges, but I can also select a custom range here on the date range filter. I can limit by content provider, source type. The full complement of source types are depicted here. I can limit by subject terms. So within Anansi, I can take a look at the legendary character, short story, the literary form. I can take a look at different subject terms. Anansi is from West African Ghanaian heritage. So if I want to limit by that subject type or by spiders in folklore, the hit counts are represented, showing me how many search results are by these subject terms. And if I wanted to limit the articles by Lexile range, which depicts the reading complexity, the higher the number, the more complex the reading level, I can choose a Lexile range here as well. And even a publication. If I'm interested in articles published by Cricket, for instance, I can choose that, or highlights. Since we are taking a look at the primary version of Explora, these publications are represented. So I'll choose a few. And then I'll apply my filters. And that gets me down to the 5 search results from 16. So that's a great way to refine your research to more relevant resources. All right, so let's see if we have any questions here. Okay, so none so far. Let me go back to the landing page. And we're almost halfway through. So now I'd like to switch gears and show you the new EBSCO host interface. Before I do that, let me talk to you about some of the differences here between EBSCO Host and Explora. As you can see with Explora, we're taking a look at Explora Primary. You have different versions of Explora. You have the ability to take a look at the primary version of Explora. There's a secondary version of Explora as well. Let's see, we have a question in the chat. Where can I find a list of sources that each Explora version uses? Well, we have an article available on EBSCO Connect. Let me see if I can pull that up. I'm going to go to EBSCO Connect now. I'll open up that URL. And I've mentioned EBSCO Connect. It's your one-stop shop to all things EBSCO. It's a DIY page with our access to our full knowledge base. So let's take a look at Explora. I'm just going to type Explora in my search box, and you'll see a few resources that come up, but we'll go ahead and just execute our search. And I'll scroll through the list of articles that are available. And if you're interested in what databases are available for Explora, we do have, let me see if that article is coming up. Let's go to, oh, this is a video. I don't actually want to see the video. So let me take a look at administrative tools. This is an article on how to enable Explora in EBSCO admin, but there is one that is particularly relevant to, let's see if we've got, no, that's the LTI tool. I'll have to get you a link. Why don't I follow up with a link to, there's a quick start guide that actually shows you which databases are compatible, as well as what databases are recommended based on the age group. So it will show you the recommendations for Explora primary and secondary, but I'm not seeing it right now. I'm going to have to research that and follow up with that link. Oh, there we go. I think it's right here. Yeah, so it's an Explora best practices setup guide for library administrators. All right, so it will show you which databases we recommend. Now, this is just a loose recommendation. You'll want to make the decisions based on your library's needs. So we can see here for elementary schools, we recommend enabling primary search, the ebook collection, newspaper source, and topic overviews for K through 5. For the high school version, we recommend enabling MOS Complete, newspaper source, consumer health topic search, and topic overviews for grades 6 through 12. So I'll share a link to this best practices guide, and it can guide you and provide some recommendations for the types of databases you want to enable based on the version that you are making available for searching for your students. Okay, so let's go back to, that's a great question, and I do appreciate you asking it. So let's see, there's another question here in the chat. Can I assume that Explora Primary is for elementary and middle school? I also noticed that on your list, there's an Explora Secondary and Explora High School. What's the difference between these two? There is the difference really, you'll see a stark difference in the primary versus the middle and high school. The difference really is if you want to create a middle school version, you'll want to enable these databases. For the high school version, you'll want to enable these databases, but the differences are not really visible other than when you are, once you've enabled that profile, it will say Explora Primary or Explora High School or Explora Middle School or Primary and Secondary. And you'll see that the featured images are more relevant to the age group. So the topics here for Explora Primary are going to be age appropriate, like fireflies in Anansi. Let's take a look. I'm going to close this one out and we'll select the high school version, and you'll see that the featured images and content are a little bit more mature. So now we're talking about bipartisanship, community gardens. So this is where you'll see the differences, okay? Explora High Schools, the topic, the content, the current events are more timely and more age appropriate. The Explore Topics categories are also more age appropriate. So here you'll see STEM options, life skills, and of course the carousel, the ebooks carousel will be a little bit more age appropriate as well, okay? But in terms of the features and functionality, it really doesn't change. All right, so let's see with these questions, let's see. The screen you were showing before you answered the question, I wish you had a screen, I would appreciate it. So what is your school? See, you have Explora Primary School, middle school, I think I've answered that question. At the result list level, is there a difference between Explora and EBSCOhost? No, there is no difference at the result list, except the content that you have chosen to make discoverable within Explora versus EBSCOhost. I'm just trying to figure out which databases I should be using for which grades. We don't go down to the grade level. As we can see here, it just covers, generally speaking, middle school 6 to 8, high school 9 to 12. But you can't identify necessarily which databases for lower than that. Hopefully that answers your question. The original screen that I was showing is the primary version. Mary, can you confirm that that's what you'd like me to see? So this is the high school version, and let's go back to the primary version. Okay, so now we are back on the primary version. Oh, the select services screen. All right, I can go back to that. Now, select services is an alternate landing page. I'm not sure if New Jersey State Library is utilizing this. It is an option. More than likely, you have these links on your library's landing page, but this is another way to view what New Jersey State Library subscribes to. So here you can see that there's a primary school version, a secondary school version, a high school version, and a public library version, as well as a middle school version. Let's see. Mary, it may be best if you can just unmute yourself. All right, these logos can be linked to the geolocation addresses, correct. This is going to be a function of your library subscription. I'm currently logged into the New Jersey State Library Select Services page, and so this will be a function of your library subscription. So I'm not sure if that answers it correctly. I don't think it's geolocation. It's about what your institution subscribes to. Explore Primary is for K through 5. Explore Middle is for 6 through 8. And Explore Elementary would be K to 8. Explore Secondary is not different from Explore High School. It's the same. I think that answers the questions here. Okay, great. Thank you, Mary. And Lori. Question here, when a student copies the citation information from the article page and a link is provided in the citation, is that a permanent link? I had trouble in the past checking citations because the links didn't go anywhere when I tried to access them from the citation. All right, so let's take a look at that. We will try, pull one up. No, let's go back to one of these versions. I'll do the high school version this time. And we'll just run a search on, let's take a look at bipartisanship. I'll execute that search. And we will choose one of these articles. And I will click the share icon. Oh, I'm sorry, you wanted the citation. Now, the citation is just going to copy, for instance, we're taking a look at ABNT. If we were to click APA, this is just going to give the citation for citing this source. You can also export the citation to bibliographic management software listed here, like RefWorks, EndNote, Noodle Tools, RIS. But if you're trying to access the persistent link, you'll click the share icon and click that paperclip icon. That will get you to this page. You can also now select a link from the URL, which is now a persistent link. Now that's for this article, okay? So if we were to go back to the search results page, and there are 11,000 search results here, if I were to select or copy this URL from the browser, it's going to get me to the search results. It's a permanent link to the page that I'm viewing, not the actual article. And if I were to access the share tool here and get that persistent link, that's going to link me to the detailed record for that article, not the actual article itself. I hope that makes sense. Okay. Okay, and yes, the recording of this session will be sent out to all registrants. All right, so I'm going to actually switch gears now because I think we are comfortable with Explora. Hopefully, through all these questions, we have grown comfortable. I heard that they were fixing so permalink would be included in the citation. Thank you. I actually did not hear that. That would be great. I'd have to look into our release notes to see. Okay. And a question here. The links copied from EBSCO do not always translate as permalinks. I understand. Any questions? If you're having any issues with our persistent links, if the links are not working, then I encourage you all to submit support tickets to our support staff to resolve those issues. Okay. All right, so let's exit out of Explora. I would love to now dive into the new EBSCO host. What I want to do is level set, though, and show you your existing EBSCO host interface, and then we'll show you what the new one looks like. So let me just switch gears. I'm going to select EBSCO host. And on the Choose Databases page, this is where you can, as an end user, select to search an individual database like Academic Search Premier or Business Source Elite, or multiple. So I'll select a few of these databases. I'll include the ebook collection, maybe ERIC, Green File, MasterFILE Elite, Middle Search Plus, and many of these databases are also searchable in your Explorer interface. I think I've chosen enough to conduct my research, and I'll go ahead and select continue at the bottom, and it's going to load those databases to my EBSCOhost interface. This is now called the Classic interface, to which you currently have access. At the top of the search box, you can see the databases that you're searching. Within Explorer, that is hidden. Okay, and end users do not have the ability to select particular databases in Explorer. It's really intended to assist the novice researcher. EBSCOhost gives the researcher a little bit more autonomy with the ability to choose which databases they want to conduct research. Okay, so a little bit more sophisticated interface here. We are searching all of those databases that I've already selected, and then we can go ahead and enter our keyword search terms to conduct research. We can also pre-search change our search mode. By default, we're using the find all, which automatically ends your phrase. We can change that to Boolean phrase or find any. Notice some other preset limiters in search modes. We're automatically applying related words, applying equivalent subjects. If I wanted to limit to full text, I can select that. I can also limit by particular publication years prior to executing my search. And there are some special limiters available here that I can employ as well. If I wanted to then enter a keyword, I'll enter the same. I can execute my search then. And it brings me to the search results for EBSCOhost, which hasn't changed very much in years. And so this is the interface to which you are currently accessing. Everyone should be comfortable with EBSCOhost. It is our flagship interface. And I just wanted to show you what you currently have access to. And then we're going to switch over to demonstrating the new EBSCOhost interface. So your search results are listed in the center of your screen. As you scroll down, you see the search results sorted by default relevance. You can change that to date newest or date oldest. You have results from the Associated Press videos. You have your limiters and expanders over on the left to refine your search by, those limiters and those facets. So you also have access back on the landing page to conduct an advanced search. All right, so let me pause here. I'm going to switch over to the new EBSCOhost interface, but let me see, we may have some questions in the chat. Okay, I think that it's just some comments about geolocation, links. All right, so nothing else in the chat. So let's go ahead and take a look at the new EBSCOhost interface. And as I mentioned earlier, this is now available. So it may be coming to New Jersey State Library soon. I think that they are moving our accounts over public and school libraries prior to the start of the new school year. So this may be coming to you soon. Let me go ahead and log in with my demonstration account. So I'm going to access a different account, not the New Jersey State Library account, just to show the features and functionality for the new EBSCOhost. And of course, that's not going to work for me. So give me 1 second and I'll enter my credentials once more. See if that works. Okay, so now we are looking at the new EBSCOhost user interface. From some of the screenshots that I showed you earlier, you can see that it's definitely a sleeker interface, a lot more white space, fewer words on the page to reduce that cognitive load. Let's take a look at the features. So we've stripped a lot. So you've got your search box right here. You can still enter your keywords. You can still choose your databases right above that search box, similar to Classic EBSCOhost. You do have access to some quick filters here, as well as a link to advanced search. The dashboard, similar to Explora, is now on the left side of your screen with the avatar in the upper right. If you'd like to create an account, if you click that, it will give you some of the benefits to creating a MyEBSCO personal account, which allows you to organize your research into project folders, download ebooks, save your research long-term, and sync to the mobile app. So it does give you some benefits to creating an account, but once again, this is completely optional, and whatever you do will be represented on your My Dashboard. Let's see, we have a question in the chat. Yes, a game changer for schools. Thank you, Amy, for that comment. Okay, so let's take a look at some, excuse me, searching. My apologies, I got a little coffee throat today, so I just mute when I'm about to cough. Okay, let's enter something in the search box. I'll go ahead and type organic gardening. Notice that suggestions are presented and as well in this new interface as it had in the old interface. It will automatically execute a search once you select from that auto suggestions. The search results are provided. We're seeing almost 11,000 here, once again, sorted by relevance. The source type is indicated, so this first result is an ebook. We have the summary, the subject terms. Our access options are now collapsed. Since it's an ebook, we see the EPUB full text option as well as the PDF. We can access the detailed record for this ebook by clicking View Details. We can save this item to our temporary session folder, access the citation tool, the project folder, the sharing icons, as well as download this ebook for offline use. All right, so we have, since many of these first search results are all ebooks, let me take a look at our filters here. So we've got almost 11,000. Remember the quick filters for online full text. Peer-reviewed, let's say if I wanted to limit to peer-reviewed, I can quickly tap that peer-reviewed option, and that quickly reduced my search results down to 867, much more manageable. Still a lot though. Let's take a look at our quick filters for time. Maybe I'm interested in articles published within the last 5 years. I'll go ahead and update my search results. So now I'm looking at 254. I can limit by source type. Once again, quick filters. If I'm interested in academic journals or magazines, I can apply those. But maybe I'm interested in all of my filtering options. So I'll click the All Filters option to expose the panel. It keeps track of all of my active filters. I can revert by Xing out of any one of these active filters or continue to limit my search results. So we've got those source types. Once again, this is a function of our search results set. So out of the 254, 251 are academic journals. Let's take a look at the subject terms. Maybe I'm interested not just in organic farming, gardening, but maybe a sustainability. I can also limit by Lexile range if I'd like. These are more complex articles for reading complexity. So we can see the only options are 13 to 1500 and 1100 to 1300. We also have additional limiters for language and geography. Most are in English. I can go ahead and select that. But let's go ahead and apply the filters and see what results. That gets me just down to 18, a much more manageable set for searching within our new EBSCOhost interface. I think we have some comments in the chat. Let's see if we have. It's the app for Explora 2. The mobile app is your mobile interface for conducting research. I do not believe that it's Explora, it's EBSCOhost for discovery. Do we still have the embeddable discovery widget? I would have to inquire with our support staff in terms of a discovery widget, or with Michael. I'm not sure what the subscription currently holds for discovery. All right. All right, so back to our search results. So we're down to 18. I pretty much have demoed accessing full text, but we can see some additional options here within our search results. It's going to give us a peer-reviewed icon when an article is peer-reviewed. So it's a quick visual representation of peer-reviewed resources if you're looking for that. I see that Michael has responded regarding the discovery widget. He will look into that. Thank you, Michael. All right, so let's look at advanced search, because I do want to show you that as part of our demo for new EBSCOhost. If I click the EBSCO, actually general search in the research tools over here on the left, that will clear my search and bring me back to the landing page. I can access advanced search here. Now, we're still building features and functionality, so some of the features that you currently experience or have access to in Classic, we're still building in the new. And I'll show you where you can access information about the changes to come. We're now taking a look at the advanced search screen. It gives you the opportunity to enter key terms in multiple search boxes, to utilize the Boolean operators and or not, as well as to qualify your research by selecting a field code for searching your key terms. You also have additional search options here. Notice that the special limiters for specific databases are not currently available in the new EBSCOhost, where they are currently available in Classic. That is a feature that is on the roadmap. But if you wanted to conduct subject search, on this advanced search page, you'll see that we're currently looking at search options, but there's also a tab for the thesaurus. So clicking the thesaurus tab gives you access to subject term searching. So it will show you which databases have subject terms indexed. So we can choose from business thesaurus, MasterFILE, and primary search. I'll go ahead and select MasterFILE Premier. And if I wanted to conduct a search against the way my term may be indexed in MasterFILE Premier, I can go ahead and enter my term. Let's go ahead and enter climate change again as the example. And we'll click search. By default, it's going to provide relevancy ranking, or we can change this to term begins with for our keyword. So I'll just execute climate change, and we can see that climate change is indexed in MasterFILE Premier as I typed it. But I also have the ability to explode this. And if you're not sure what that means, it basically means by exploding a term, in my example, which is climate change, it will include my main term and all subheadings beneath my main term. And to learn what those subheadings and narrower terms are, I can click climate change, which is a hyperlink, and that will show me the broader term, which is climatology, and the narrower terms. And I can include all of these if I explode them into my research. So let me go back and click climate change to explode, and notice that it's going to start pulling in those narrower terms by exploding. I can choose to join my terms with the Boolean operators and or not. And if I click add to search, notice how my search will be built here at the top. I'll go ahead and click Add to Search. And now all of those subject terms have been added to my search, which I can then qualify by selecting a field code or not, and then executing my search. And that should give me more relevant search results because it's not just looking for the term climate change in the top layer of metadata, i.e. in the title or the description or the subject terms, but it's also looking for my terms in the way they are indexed within the database. Okay, so that is advanced search. Let me click back to general search and see if we have any additional questions with the last 5 minutes. Oh, thank you, Joyce, for that comment regarding subject search and control vocabulary. So yes, you do have access to it. Now let me go back into my PowerPoint because I did want to summarize a few things and show you where you can access additional information. Okay, question, can you show the database options again? Sure. So within the new EBSCO host, right above the search box, if you choose the databases. Now remember, this is my demonstration account, so this will not represent the New Jersey State Library account. This is going to be a function of what my demo account has. I've got access to everything. If I were logged into the New Jersey State Library account, it would be a subset of this. This is just a demo account for training purposes. But yes, so of course, your students, when conducting research in EBSCOhost, can choose a particular database. So if you have students who are conducting research for science or for environmental resources, they may choose GreenFile. I believe GreenFile is one of the databases that you subscribe to. So in this case, this demo account, I've got Environment Complete, for instance. So for very specific research, yes, of course, your end users can choose a particular database to search. Let's see. It's not usually full text, right? You can, well, the databases, yes, are full text databases. I actually did not get a chance to talk to you about that. So let me go back to my PowerPoint presentation and I can quickly show you the primary databases that we covered today include Primary Search, which is a full text database with access to over 105 children's magazines. Middle Search Plus, another full text database with over 175 full text magazines, 400 ebooks, 55,000 primary source documents, 10,000 videos. MasterFILE Premier gives you access to over 940 full text magazines and journals. Newspaper Source Plus, full text access to over 1,100 full text newspapers, including the Washington Post and the Philadelphia Inquirer. News transcripts, television transcripts from popular sources like, or news outlets like CBS and CNN and PBS, Associated Press videos. So these are full text resources, yes. But when conducting research in the database, you will not only get full text, all right? You will have those abstracts, the bibliographic records, but you can then filter by full text resources. All right, so let's go back into my PowerPoint presentation. I did want to cover the changes that you will be able to enjoy with the new EBSCOhost coming soon. Just to summarize, modern user-friendly interface with an intuitive layout, supports accessibility and with responsive design to reduce cognitive load. You've got a cleaner interface. We are working towards WCAG 2.1 AA compliance. Another major selling point, permalinks are now available from your browser bar or the sharing tool. We've redesigned that My EBSCO account to my dashboard. We've enhanced our sharing and citation tools, and roadmap features are available for everyone to access. And let me go there now. This is just a quick screenshot of our roadmap and release notes, but I can go into EBSCO Connect. I think I have it on the other screen. Let's go back into EBSCO Connect and to the landing page on connect.ebsco.com. If you go under the news section, you can access the platform roadmap. And you can see where we are in terms of our timeline for new features and functionality. We do update our roadmap on a quarterly basis. The most recent one was from May. And I'll quickly download this roadmap. I know that we are at time, but if you can just give me one more minute. I think I already downloaded it. It's not coming up for some reason. Let's see. You may be in the process of updating it, and that's why it's not available. But I'll just go back to the PowerPoint screenshots just for time's sake. And it's a document that covers not just EBSCOhost, but Discovery and Explora. I believe the EBSCOhost updates are halfway through the deck, but you can see our timeline for updates for the next several months. You also have access to release notes on EBSCO Connect, where you can see the most recently released features and functionality. And just to remind you, that URL is connect.ebsco.com. You can just enter new EBSCOhost and get a bunch of information regarding the new interface. And I will be following up with links regarding the new EBSCOhost. We've got a quick start guide, an FAQ, as well as links to that platform roadmap. I'm not sure why it's not downloading. I think it's because we're probably updating it with new resources. Let's see. Okay, so let's see. Oh yes, search box builder. Yes, that's always something that's available. If you want to create a direct link or a search box for your landing page, you can do so. That's also available on our support site. Let's go back. Under tools and resources on connect.ebsco.com, there is a direct URL builder as well as a search box builder. So you can always create direct URLs or search boxes to promote our resources. And the release notes are available here also under news. And we can see, hopefully this one will load. Yes. Release notes. Okay, so we can see what new features and functionality have been released and any service issues that have been resolved. All right, so that does it for my overview. Thanks for sticking with me for the last few moments. Any last minute questions before we end the session? Okay, I'm going to go ahead and stop the record. So if you'd like to leave, you can do so at this time. I'll stop recording, and if anyone would like to answer or ask a question live, feel free to do so. Let me just go ahead and stop recording.